This is Steve Rozenberg with Empire Industries Property Management. I'd like to talk to you today about evicting your tenant. I know this can be a very scary thing and a lot of people don't know how to do it. I can tell you from owning a lot of properties, a lot of real estate in the Dallas area, I'm very familiar with it. And yes, it can be scary, it can be intimidating, but it is also just part of the business. And it's just something that you're gonna have to deal with at some point as an investor. When we manage properties, we take care of it for the owners, but if you wanna do it yourself, you can do it as well. First and foremost, I would say is make sure that you have a very solid lease. And what I mean by a solid lease is you want to make sure it clearly spells out what day rent is due, what day it is late, what happens after it's late, and when the eviction process started. So for example, I can tell you that our lease says that rent is due on the 1st. It's actually a 2-day grace period and it's considered late on the 3rd. So it's a very clear distinction you want to have that rent is not due by the 3rd. It's actually due on the 1st and it's late by the 3rd because of the grace period. On the 4th of the month, we then start late fees. That is a non-negotiable. We always file and charge late fees because that is what our contract says. So I would recommend that you never ever deviate from charging late fees if that is what your agreement says. You don't have the option to enforce or not enforce the lease agreement. So late fees start, and so does our notice to pay or vacate. We send them a 3-day notice to pay or quit is what is called, pay or vacate the premises. They basically have 3 days, 72 hours to come up with the money. And if they don't come up with the money, then the next step in the process happens. So they will get the 3-day notice to pay or vacate. After that point, we will then go to court and file what's called the forcible detainer. That is when we go and we file the actual paperwork, and that is when the actual process legally begins from the court system. About 2 weeks later, you will get a court date. You'll probably get a court date there at the JP court, and then from there you will get the notice of what day you are going to appear. Tenant will probably get notified by the constable about a week later by the constable knocking on the door telling them you are being evicted and here's your court date, and they will formally serve that tenant. You may get the phone call then from the tenant wanting to negotiate. Our policy is we do not negotiate. It has to be full rent, has to be full late fees, and it has to be all court costs. That is what it takes for us to stop the eviction. We do not deviate at all, has to be the full amount. After that point, once they do that and they pay, then we will stop it. If they do not, even if they have partial rent, we do not accept it. It has to be the full amount, because if we take any money, legally we cannot continue the eviction process because we're not evicting for what we filed for in the amount. So once you go to court, you will we recommend that you non-payment of rent is the reason that we file normally, and after that point the judge will basically move in your favor, and then from there the judge will give the tenant a certain amount of days, maybe it's 3 days, maybe it's 5 days, to vacate the premises. Now, if the tenant does not vacate the premises, you will go back to court and you will file what's called the writ of possession. That is when you will actually meet the constable at the property with the moving company, and you will be able to get them to remove the tenant, remove their belongings, and then what's gonna happen is you will wanna have a locksmith there. We have a locksmith that meets us, and the locksmith then will change the locks per Texas property code, and then we will get everything taken care of to basically get legal possession of the premises back. So again, it's very important that you do that, and you do it in the proper order. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to enforce the lease. You're going to send the 3-day notice to pay or vacate. If they don't pay, you then will file the forcible detainer. If they don't pay in full with court costs, late fees, and rent, then the next thing you're going to do is you are going to then show up in court. You will win the case. Then if they are still in the premises after the judge gives them the allotted time, you will come back, file the writ of possession. Constable will notify you. You will then meet at the property with the constable, a moving company, and we recommend a locksmith. They will legally remove the tenant, and at that point, that is when you will have legal possession of the premises back. So if you'd like to have us do that, that is something we can do. We'd love to talk to you about managing your properties here in the Dallas area. We're very well versed on dealing with tenants and trying to help you strategize this to run it like a business without you having to learn all these things. But if you'd like to do it yourself, that is pretty much how you do it. If you'd like to talk to me personally, you can give us a call here at Empire. We'd love to help you with either getting properties, we can help you buy them. If you'd like to talk about strategies for the properties you have, or we can talk about how to increase your net worth and buy more properties. So just give us a call here in the Dallas area. I look forward to talking to you. This is Steve Rozenberg with Empire Industries. Thank you very much.